don't share all the deets because
right.
everybody's just gonna come hijack your house, find everything and not back at Kickstarter. So,
I would like to know.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Nerdy Neighborhood and Your Friendly Neighborhood Comic Show. I'm your host, Lauren, your Friendly Neighborhood Bi, and I am joined for the third time ever by Laurie Calcaterra, who is the writer and creator of Path of the Pale Rider. How are you?
I'm great. It's nice to see my sister from another mister.
Right? I'm
right?
telling you,
How are
girl,
you?
like, I'm good. Other than I don't know what our parents were doing, like the parent we share. You got you're living the dream, and
that's my
stuck here in my corner.
Screen. Elton John will be here later to play the piano. So
I knew it. Dang it, Laurie. I thought I was gonna get invited to more things. That's okay.
Yeah, not real people. Totally a backdrop.
Oh, I thought it was totally normal to like have your arms blend in with the background like that.
I was like, if you move really fast, your whole body can disappear.
Yeah, it has a heart attack there. Well, I am so excited to have you back here. I know the Nerdy Neighborhood is excited to have you as well. You've got another Kickstarter going because you are on issue 3 now. Issue 3, and this is pretty quick. I feel like it's been maybe a little over a year, and you're already on the 3rd issue. How's it been like to be able to keep up with that kind of pace?
We want to go faster. Last year we were able to do, technically we only did 1, but we really did 2 Kickstarters, and the book was done it was inked in December, and then we went back and we decided to color, which is the first time we've done that, right? So we finished in January. So we'll probably do 2 books this year. We would like to speed up and do 3 or maybe 4 a year. That would be amazing if we could sustain that. Because the story is so big. It's a 13 issue run for the first season. And if we're only doing 2 books a year, it's going to take us 6 years to get there.
Yeah, 100%. I love how you call it seasons.
I know. It's like, I'm in this weird place where I'm from, like TV and web content production. So that's where I started like choreographing fight scenes and working for a production company. That's where I started writing. But then now that I'm writing, it's like they're issues, but in my head they're episodes because I see it as like a Netflix series. So it's like I see season 1, season 2, season 3 in my head. That's how I see it. So I mess up and I call it episodes or I'll call it issues. I kind of interchange them and it confuses the heck out of people, but that's kind of why, because I walk like one foot in each world. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I love it though. There's only off the top of my head, there's only one other creator I can speak of that I can think of that I've spoken with who did the same thing. And it was Rom V. Rom V during his Swamp Thing run. He called it seasons. Right before he blew up. And I was kind of like, I've never heard of that. And he's like, I tell 1 complete season. I have more room for a 2nd season if they give me that. And if not, I still wrap up this 1st season. And I really love that compared to like what we get with, some ongoings where it's like, it's doing great and all that, but if it gets cut off randomly, you're screwed as a reader. You know what I mean?
Right. That happened with Saga, right?
Yeah.
Where they took a hiatus and we were like, what the hell, right? It kind of just left us in the middle of nowhere. And then when we came back, there was like a time jump and there was no explanation. So now we're like, now where are we? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can see that as a drawback for ongoing series as well. It's kind of like if people need a break because they're burnt out, it's like, where do you end us? Like where's the cutoff point?
Yeah, exactly. And I think too with seasons it helps because that still means if you have seasons at some point you have an ending season.
Yes.
Whether it's willed or not. Of course we prefer that it's willingly ended, but at least and I think that's great. Like that's why I love, like earlier we were talking and you have it like planned out. You have your multiple seasons planned out already. You know kind of where the story is going, where you want it to end, where you can keep going if people want it. I think that's really awesome.
There is a distinct ending to this series. We're a while away from that, so don't worry, everybody. Like we still got plenty of content to keep you entertained. But what I found when I was consuming as a consumer, right? I'm talking about like let's use TV shows that are ongoing, like Lost. they kind of meander, right? There's no explanation. And then all of a sudden we're finding things happening that really make no sense. Like, why are we at a zoo on this island all of a sudden? Like, how many episodes is it going to take to open the frickin' hatch, right? How long are you going to string us along? You find that some of the issues are fluff or they're not really plot driven. The contrast for that is Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad had an excellent ending, and I guarantee you that ending was written from before the pilot appeared, right? So every single episode was meticulously crafted, so that way we're moving towards that ending. And that's why it was so much more powerful. We had fan service, we saw the resolutions, we felt things, you know, instead of anger at the ending of Lost or the ending of Dexter, when it was like, what is this? Like, this isn't a twist. I don't understand. You know, it was confusion and frustration. Path of the Pale Rider has an ending. We have a very specific ending, and every single issue that we release works us towards that ending. So I'm hoping when we get there that you will be satisfied completely. All the fan service, everything will fit together. And then we're going to move on to something else. I have other stuff in my pockets.
But that's the best part, is that we get to enjoy what we have now and still look forward to, oh my God, Laurie's planning 10 other projects in her head. They're going to take 10 years to come out.
Well, that gives me time to really work on those scripts, or I'm freelancing. I'm doing work on other projects. I'm writing issues 4, 5, and 6 of Psycho Sal, which was created by William Russell. They just finished Kickstartering 3. The book's already done. So they're going to already start working on 4. So I'm going to see that pop up real soon. I'm excited for that. Yeah. And then I'm in talks with another creator to help write their project. He's 2 issues in, and he's working on, again, 3 and going forward, but doing some collaboration. And it's great in this community where you can trade work for work. Yeah. So the very top of my Kickstarter, there's a picture of a woman on my video. That's the William Russell cover. So we traded work for work. So I'm writing issues 4, 5, and 6, and he's producing covers for me for 4, 5, and 6. He does beautiful pinups. So this is the pinup that we got. We won't always do a pinup, but it made sense to do it in this one because I wanted to bring up a topic of something that happens in that world. So
yeah, and I like that. I think creatively using things like pinups or the whatever version of sex sells you put out there, right? But using it so it fits the story you're telling and the world you're telling, that makes complete sense to me. I absolutely love that. I think is this the first time you've done a pinup with this series? I think it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yes. We really haven't had that situation come up in the story. We were only 2 issues in. Issue 1 is very much Jude St. Clair, people getting to know Jude St. Clair, our cowboy who's looking for the answer. What is he looking for? The decisions he makes in the wild with some people, and then, of course, in crisis. And then issue 2, he's thrust into a Western-looking town who are very aggressive towards him. And the things that he kind of does and manipulates so that he can still find the person he's looking for and be able to talk to them. Because right from the beginning, he finds the person, but they become immediately unavailable.
Yeah.
So he has to create drama in order for him to be placed in the same place as this other person. But now, issue 3, we're taking a huge time jump. We're going back to the beginning of the apocalypse, to the beginning of when Death went missing. So you're going to see Jude St. Clair on the front lines. He was an EMT prior to the apocalypse. So he gets a front seat view of the chaos that happens, right? So now we're going to see the chaos, the riots, the confusion, the famine, all the things that go along with death being broken. For anybody who's not familiar with me, I've been on Lauren's show twice. I go into full depth about who I am and where I come from, but I'll just give you a quick elevator pitch for what Path of the Pale Rider is if you're just discovering me now. Death has been broken in this story, and your body can die, but your soul, your energy, it doesn't leave your body upon death. So you're still you. You're not a zombie craving brains or trying to eat people. It's Lauren, it's me, it's your mom, it's your neighbor. it's your people that you love and care about that are going through this decay phase while they're still in their body. They become forgetful, violent, detached, kind of think dementia, but in fast forward. That's where we are. So we have a whole population of people that when you die become chaotic. So on this cover, this is the A cover by Marco DeFillo. You see Jude is checked out. Like he's sitting on top of his ambulance, smoking a cigarette and having a burger from Big James Burgers,
Of course.
Of course, because Marco has a great sense of humor. But there's a riot going on in the background and he's just like, there's nothing I can do here. You know what I mean? Yep. Just to kind of show you like the attitude of what's going to happen. It's going to be bad. There's police helicopters. Yeah. Like, I love this cover. He just does amazing work.
I love the color palette on it and how you really have to look to see what's happening in the background because all the reds and the purples and the black, it blends together so nicely. But once you see what's really going on in the cover, you're like, you can't look away from it because it's like having that veil pull back and you're like, oh my God, suddenly I see what's really happening.
Right. And that's all of Marco's work. If you look at issues 1 and 2 in the background, he's hidden things. Issue 2, especially that saloon that Jude is in used to be a hair salon. A saloon, there's hair salon chairs, those hair dryer chairs that like go over your head. There's people passed out drunk in the hair dryer chairs. And I think he put a singing bass on one of the walls. There's a toilet in a tree somewhere. He just put some really funny stuff in there. So the first time you read it, you know, you're sucked into the story. You're following what's happening to Jude. But then like the second time you read it, look around just because it's really funny. Some of the stuff that Marco puts in there. And has nothing to do with me. I'm not telling him to put toilets in trees. He just does it because it's funny.
And that's probably one of my favorite things to hear when, you know, creators work together on projects like this is, you know, because everybody's different. Everybody has a process that works from some people. Like some artists really prefer the writer to tell them, hey, what exactly do you want? I'll do it. And if you want me to throw 1 or 2 of my own touches, I will. And then other people, like other, you know, creators that work together, they just seem to have this like organic, almost chemistry and understanding where it's like, I'm going to do my part. I trust you do yours. If you need a question answered, let me know. But otherwise, have at it. And it seems like you guys are very much the latter.
Right. And we are definitely that. A lot of times when I'm writing, I will give a lot of information about what a place looks like when it's the first time that we're going there. Yeah. However, sometimes I'm so tunnel vision about what's happening in the story. Marco's like, Laurie, issue 2, he was like, all your background people are guys. And I was like, well, I don't really care about them. They're just going to get knocked out and then Jude's moving on. You know what I mean? So they're throwaway characters. He's like, we're going to diversify your cast. And he made one of them a woman. Nice. And I was like, okay, that's great. She's awesome. And then we got to the fight scene and I was like, well, Jude would never hit a girl. I was like, so we're going to have to change the fight scene so that she organically falls down. Right? Yeah. And that's what happens in the fight scene where it's like, some guy punches at Jude blocks it and like pushes him and he falls into her and then she falls down. You know what I mean? But Jude never directly knocks her down. So
yeah. Is that just because he's more old school?
Jude is he's very old school. I mean, I think he would hit a person if it was a direct threat, but she wasn't directly threatening him. And he's kind of a how do I want to say, he's a romantic. He's very much about the damsel in distress, almost to a point of fault, where he'll be like, he's trying to help that beautiful woman because he has blinders on about what's really going on. Yeah. It won't always be to his advantage to help these women, let me just say.
Right. I think a lot of people learned that. And we got this other cover, which if you guys are just getting in on this, you know, you're catching this, you haven't checked out the R2 issues yet. This bear is like half of Path of the Pale Rider, I swear.
He's become our unofficial mascot. Yeah. Which was really interesting because it wasn't planned that way. Big James is a force of nature. And I mean, he's a very big antagonist in issue 1. Just to show that how important your decision-making process is. Any little decision that you make can have dire consequences. And Jude makes a bad decision, and he ultimately wakes up this bear, and there's no escape from this bear. They run faster than you. They can climb. They can swim. They come attached with weapons, teeth and claws, and weight. There is no way to get away from this bear because you can't kill it. Everybody has tried. Look at him. So every one of those weapons
is he worse than Cocaine Bear?
You know what? It's funny. This was written in 2018. We self-published in 2022. So Big James has been around before Cocaine Bear was even a thought. But this cover premiered the same week that Cocaine Bear came to the theater. And I was like, it's meant to be.
That's perfect.
But this is Everett Watkins, and he's done a cover for us every single campaign because he does amazing work. He's a graphic designer.
I can tell. My goodness, like
it has a blast.
This is stuff
man.
I wish I could do, but I don't have the patience.
I don't know, man. And this one was so funny because usually Everett and I are in constant communication about a cover where he's working on it. He'll send me updates. And this one, he was like, "Do you trust me?" And I was like, "I do. But I don't want you to waste your time if you turn." And he's like, "Do you trust me?" And I was like, "I trust you. Okay, do your thing." And he turns this in. I was like, "Oh my God. This is amazing. I trust you completely." I'm like, "What are you going to do on the next one?" Right?
I'll say, I feel like that's a lot of times that's when some of the best work happens, is when you just trust the other person. Even if you're kind of like, "I don't know, but I'm going to trust you." Like often you get such really, really amazing results like this.
Yeah, and I find that when an artist wants to take initiative, like the Everetts, like the Marco DeFillos, I give them enough information and then I get out of the way.
Yeah.
And I get stuff like this. I mean, there is no reason for me to be hands-on when I get stuff like this. It's like, okay, do your thing. I'll go talk to somebody else. Right?
I love that. That should be a t-shirt. Get the information, get out of the way. Like, get the hell out.
Here's your information. Create. Have fun. You know, and you can tell when they're passionate and they're excited about it because it reflects in the cover, in the work. So I love it.
It's so good. It's such a fun one. Like, this looks like it could be a movie poster, to be honest. Like, very specific.
Yeah. Everybody's been saying that. We will definitely be producing 11x17s of this bad boy.
Yes. I'm so glad you guys have been able to do the coloring in the book and such, because with Marco's interiors and all that, it just looks so good. It really just gives it that extra pop.
I agree. When we did the first issue and it was in black and white, everybody's like, "Cool, it's black and white, it's a Western, it's really cool." And I was like, but look what he can do, you know? And when people saw it in color, they're like, "Oh, no, we're wrong. We want color." And I was like, yes, we all want color. Help us get there. And issue 2, I think our color goal was like 5,500, and we were short, but I was like, we're close enough. I'm gonna pay out of pocket. So
that's so nice.
We did it. So Marco produced issue 2. Yes, I paid out of pocket, but you know what? It was so worth it, and it's gonna get more attention. Issue 3 will also be in color. I'm hoping we can get to that 5,500 number. We're close. Just to help cover some of the additional artist and print costs is what happens. So that 4,550 goal is the same goal from issue 1 when we did black and white, right?
Okay.
So we do need additional funds to do color. Now, whether we hit it or not, we're still going to produce color. Like I said, but I might need to do some other things like sell some cookies, or I don't know. Run an Indiegogo. I don't know. You know what I mean? Something to kind of help relieve the missing funds. But we're on our way there. So we still got 11 days to go. There's plenty of time for people to hop on and get books. We got 84 backers. We usually end up with about 100. And I'm doing something new to get 100 backers. Yeah. So I think I have a stretch goal of like, I was going to release some behind the scenes of what the art looked like before Marco was involved, because I had 2 other artists involved, but I have a better idea.
Ooh.
Issue 2, there is a really epic poker game, which then leads, of course, into a saloon brawl. Why not?
Of course. Always. It has to.
So I figured we would start building our own deck of cards. So every issue that comes out, when we get to a backer level like this one, when we get to 100, I will send everybody the King of Hearts, which is, of course, Jude St. Clair himself. So the first card will always be a face card. And then every 50 backers, I'll add on another card. We'll probably get like 2 or 3 every campaign so we can start building towards that, 52 card deck. But it's going to be a lot of fun. I started working on cards and they're going to look so cool.
I'm so excited people see them because I think cards they're one of the easiest and most fun things to collect. Because I feel like personally, like 2 of my biggest hobbies are collecting comics and vinyl records, and they're both expensive if you try to get the like nice quality and what collectors really want. So it's nice for like cards, it's not as bad. I can get some badass cards for like whatever the price it might be on Kickstarter or whatever, and I get to just have them forever. And they don't take up a lot of space either. They get to just hang out and be cool.
At some point, I'll have to design a box, so that way I'll send the box out to everybody so we can start storing them in like an actual card box. I collect decks of cards. I got some really nice ones. I don't know what company this is, but they do really nice ones. Like this is an Avengers one. Sorry, camera. Avengers.
Yeah.
I don't know what that one is. There's some this one is Dune. I have Dune cards. Cool. I have Harry Potter cards, but these are super cool. Like, so this is kind of what I'm basing my designs off of, but like, look at the Jokers. It's a sandworm.
Yeah. I like it. It's simplistic, but it also highlights whoever's on the card.
Yeah. And they're super detailed. And of course the face cards have people from the movie. Mine are going to be a little different than this. They're not going to look like the traditional. It'll just have the character standing.
Yeah.
So, but just amazing. So I was like, I love cards. So we can start working towards building a deck of cards. That's exciting. So we're going to work on that every issue that comes out. I think it's good for everybody too. It's like, don't miss. You don't want to miss the
yeah.
It's coming. Don't miss, right?
I think it's cool too that you get to build them like with each kind of campaign issue you run, because I know you've talked about this briefly with me, but every issue and stuff, like there's always new characters that come about. So like you never know who's gonna get on the card, and you never know which issue is gonna have a character that you love and you're going to want the card of them. You know what I mean?
Right. Da, da, da.
It's the mystery. Everybody is in on it. Everybody. And it's a team effort. Like, as long as you get a certain number of backers, you get a card. So it's not even technically more money out of your direct pocket. Just tell more people to back it. Like, whether it's $5 or $200, whatever they want to do,
Right. And again, it doesn't matter the amount. We're talking about number of backers. So people can come in and back the $5 level, the $8 level, the $10 level. That counts. We're counting backers, not dollars. So because I have 2 different kind of stretch goals. Like that's the backer number, and then we have dollar amounts. We blew past that 5,000 pretty quick. So everybody gets PDF copies of 8 additional indie comics on this campaign.
Yes, that's awesome.
You get that too, miss. There's like horror, there's more zombies, of course. We have some comedy, we have 2 superhero ones, and then PTSD, which is kind of like its own category, but it's an award-winning comic by my friend Paul Gomez. Amazing indies in there. So I wanted to make sure that I found a stretch goal that kind of everybody could have, not just the physical backers,
Yeah, I think that's really great too, because depending on if you're international or again, if you just have lower funds and stuff, it's hard sometimes to get those physical issues. And some people I know, like I've been kind of like this personally too. I'm running out of space for just having things, and it's hard with comics, especially making room, because it's not very easy to just go sell your comics somewhere, especially if they're older, things like that. It's just not easy. Like comic shops, they only want specific comics that they can sell for good money, which makes sense. So you're just kind of stuck with them unless you can find a charity to donate to, which is really great.
Yeah. So. Or I think the library, I don't know. It depends on the content.
It depends on the content, and also I don't think libraries take single issues really. In my libraries, I don't know about other people's counties, but my county over the last couple years, they've been tapering down on the amount of graphic novels they have alone, which is kind of sad to see.
That's sad.
Yeah,
I realize.
Yeah, it's well, again, I think it's just a county thing, and it just depends on what their priorities are. I'm not really sure why but it had started before COVID too. That's the thing for this county. It wasn't even a COVID thing. So,
because I was going to say COVID is really the main reason why you can't sell your comic books anymore. There was a flood after COVID, and people were kind of looking at their space in their house like, I need to change some things around if I'm going to be in this house all the time, right?
Yeah,
or maybe needed some extra funds. So a lot of these comic book shops just got inundated with all these comic collections, and they were buying at first, and then they're like, I can't keep buying. I'm not moving them, you know? So then it became like, sorry, we can't take your whole collection. I'll take maybe these two. And that's it. So it would change the whole game about how people collect. So anyway, I have backer levels for everybody. So if you're digital, we got digital. If you're physical, we got physical. Our $15 level, you get both. I love the PDF because you get the comic first. As soon as we're done and it's done editing, you don't have to wait for a print job to crash and burn. Like my husband did, right? You can read the comic as soon as it's available, and I email it to everybody. So, then you don't. I
love that. I have a whole folder I keep of like all my digital copies, and there's some I have not gotten to yet, unfortunately, but I'm working on it, guys. I will read them.
I know. I have a list as well, and even my physical comics, like, because I back a lot of Kickstarter for indie because I support indie, of course. So I get them, and I'm like, yay, I got this! And I'm like, I don't have time to read it. Put it in the pile.
Yeah, I made the mistake. I mean, it's not a mistake. I don't regret it, but I just joke. I became a super backer because I backed so many Kickstarters in the last few years.
Congratulations!
Oh, yeah! Congratulations! Comics own my bank, essentially. My bank account is to comics. So, yeah, but that's how many I had, and I had to stop backing as many as I used to because I was like, one, the money, and two, I'm not reading these when people want me to.
That's the hard part. It's like, try to read it before they come on. That's what my goal is. Like, because I have a podcast as well on Tuesdays where I interview indies.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I'll get comics, so I'm like, I'm reading it right before they come on just to make sure I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I always try to do that too. Like, I've had creators that I've spoken with before. They were, after we interviewed, they're like, oh my God, like, you actually read it. And I was like, yes, like,
people don't do that.
Like you said it to me. Why would I not read it? But they were so gracious and grateful. I actually took the time to read it and like ask quality questions. I guess I understood it. So I think it's important to do that. You know, like
it is.
It means
and I've been in that seat before too, where I come on an interview and I've sent in, they're like, I'm sorry, I didn't have a chance to read it. And I'm like that. I get it because I'm super busy too. But the conversation we could have had if you knew it was in there, right?
Yeah. 1,000%. Well, tell us, because I know you've got some other rewards, things like that. We talked about the cards. Mm-hmm. Anything else with this third issue that you wanted to highlight specifically?
Oh, I got lots of stuff. All right, let me take this screen down so people can see when I hold things up because it's. Here's what the real life looks like, right?
Now I feel better. I didn't get
right. I know there is no grand piano over my shoulder. Nope, this is my kids' room, which I took over and put my desk. That's where we are. So, of course, we have copies. We have variants, some really good variants. There's the pinup by William Russell is not suitable for work. There is no nice version of that, so just beware.
See, it looks like this, except it's not censored in any way, shape, or form.
It won't be censored. It is what it is. But again, we're talking about like the new normal, things that used to not be be taboo or less taboo, or for how long are they less taboo? We could have a whole show talking about this subject of what happens to schmecks after the apocalypse, right? Yeah. I have one more cover that's like 99% done. I'm just waiting for David Sanchez to drop it. And it's a spoiler with no context. It's a main character.
Okay.
This is Angelo Aquino. Again, not from comics. He's an illustrator and a high school teacher.
Oh, wow. Good for him.
Yeah. Does amazing work. And when I approached him, I was just like, hey, I've been watching your stuff on Facebook. I follow him on Instagram. I'm like, what do you think? Do you think you could tackle my comic? And I sent him the script for issue 3. And he was like, oh, yeah, this is what I'm doing. And I was like, yes, turned out good. That image of that woman in the yellow slicker with the red, it reminds me of Georgie from It. Little Georgie with the red balloon. Yeah, that's what I see when I see her. But it's very polarizing, like no pulse, no rights. People that are living that are like, once you're dead, you're done, versus dead outside, still human inside. The undead who are like, we're still in here. Don't take away our right to be human because we're still around. But beautiful work. Really points a spotlight, pun intended, on the issues that are going on in issue 3. So that's the cover B.
I like that a lot. Because that's something that if this happened today, right, this would be the debate. This is exactly what would be fought over.
100%. And I want to remind people, when you're reading these, I wrote this in 2018. Okay. So you're going to see things that happened in 2020. You're going to see things that are happening currently, rights and debates and politics, all in issue 3 and 4. So just remember, I wrote this a long time ago.
Before these things actually happen.
Before things happen. But again, it's not the first time we have, as humans, have had a crisis of any way. We've had riots in the past. We've had injustice in the past. We've had minority groups that have their rights taken away in the past. So I'm kind of picking a new crisis, creating a new crisis, and letting pointing a light on the human race to say, like, we can be really ugly. But that just makes someone like Jude St. Clair so special, where it's like he still has values. He's still trying to put things right. He's still, on this impossible mission to figure out what broke death. So it's the good nature of humans as well. So
I love that.
Yeah. So that's cover B. Cover C is the Big James. So we have that one.
Big James.
Cover C. Cover D is actually the one from David Sanchez that has not dropped, but it's gonna be amazing. And then cover E is the William Russell pinup, not suitable for work. We call this one Undeath by Snoo Snoo.
I feel like that's an awkward reality show name that could really happen if you're not careful.
Right. Because she's beautiful, and the menfolk lots of folks have feelings towards this, but should you? Because
that is for the after hours conversation, Miss Laurie.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, it's a whole nother conversation about this topic. So we have all those, of course. Those are all $15. Even the super secret ones, or the William Russells, which are he's well known in comics. We have hot sauce. So we have we have this Path of the Pale Sauce that's available on the campaign. Has Big James on it.
Oh, let me put that on the screen.
There
we go.
You get to
that looks so cool. I love that label.
Cool? My friend Chris Brown made this. He makes hot sauce, and he was like, hey, it would be really funny if we could use Big James and put him on the label. And I was like, let's do it, right?
Yeah.
So I had these, and then everybody on Facebook was like, how do I get one of those? And I was like, oh, I didn't anticipate that.
Oh, people want it, I guess.
Right? They're like, hot sauce. People are in hot sauce crazy. So we decided to put that on this campaign. So we definitely have some Big James Path of the Pale Sauce. It'll knock your socks off kind of thing. It has a ghost pepper in it, but it's a barbecue based. I like this, and I don't like extremely spicy stuff. So if it's good. Of course, we have our Funko Pops. This is the Jude St. Clair that was from issue 1.
So good.
This campaign, you can get Big James.
Yes.
I have 2 left. They're only making 5 because they're complicated. The sculptor was like, if you're going to be delivering in July, I need, can only do 5. in that time. So we have 3 that are there, so there's 2 left. But Big James is so big, his head comes off. He's 2 pieces. So
wow.
Bigger than the Jude St. Clair. He comes in a much bigger box. And this is the only campaign he's going to be available. So go grab that one if you're a Funko collector. Of course, these are custom made.
1000%.
It's not Funko that's making these, so they're a little more pricey because I'm paying a sculptor to physically make these.
Right.
The new Funko for this campaign is Dwayne Fink, the drunk. So one person is getting that one. That one's fun. And then, of course, we have the Choose Your Own Adventure book, which premiered last campaign, where it's available as an add-on this campaign. So please go grab one of these. It's 60 pages of death, dying, and destruction. There's some really fabulous deaths. I'm trying to show you some of the art in here. It's partially, not every page is illustrated, but it's a Choose Your Own Adventure. So, of course, we have some really cool art. The interiors are all done by David Rodriguez, who's been involved from the beginning. And then, of course, we have a spread cover from Marco DeFillo on the, cover. If you've read issue 1 and you know what happens to the horse, it's kind of funny. Too soon?
Maybe a little bit.
I was like, Marco, did you just decapitate the horse? He's like, no, I did, didn't I? And I was like,
there's that sense of humor kicking in again.
I know. I was like, was that intentionally? He's like, no. I'm like, okay, well, it's still freaking funny to me. But this is an amazing cover. It's just, there's 2 cowboys on here, a man and a woman that are taking out some zombies. It's like blowing up a 7-Eleven. There's a Target truck in the background, like flaming zombies flying
all
through
the essentials.
It's really cool. But again, it's that Marco DeFillo level of detail. So you could look at it for a while and find a bunch of things in there. But this is a lot of fun. I've been running a couple times on the air and letting people try it. And Cody from Keeping It Geekly died on page 5.
Poor Cody. I love Cody. He's so sweet.
He was like, I'm going to do the thing. And I was like, and you're dead.
I feel like I would die by the 2nd page. So, Cody, you made it further than I would.
Page. Page 2, the first time you can die is page 5. But look.
Jesus.
It's like, I think you get shot in the back and then shot in the face with a shotgun.
So now the goal is to see who can get further than Cody.
Everybody should. But you can run bounties. There's a Big James in there. There's some really nasty characters. But the cool part is that these characters show up in the main story. So you as the reader will know how terrifying the Skinner is. So when he shows up in the story with Jude, you're going to be like, oh, shit, that's the Skinner. Like, run. And of course, Jude can't hear you. So Jude does Jude, and the Skinner is not a nice guy. So he's terrifying.
Yeah, doesn't sound like it.
There is a path you can actually become undead, and you get to keep going. So it's quite cool. There's some really cool stuff at the back of the book. I'm not going to show you the words, but it's really cool. I'll just put it like that.
It looks so good. And I love Choose Your Own Adventures because you can go through that like 20 times and you're still not bored of it because you're finding new paths. You're seeing different details. You're reading different details,
Yep. And it wouldn't be a Laurie Calcaterra book without a cipher or a riddle at the back.
Of course not.
I got a cipher back there.
Yeah, one thing y'all will learn if you guys are not familiar with this series yet, or Laurie, mysteries and ciphers and puzzles to figure out are in everything. Every single thing.
And there's stuff hidden all throughout the books. So the first read through, of course, you're going to be following the story. You're not going to be looking in the background. There's going to be stuff that when you get there, when we get further into this story, there's going to be characters that you've seen before. And you're like, wait a minute, I've seen this guy before. Where have I seen him? And so when you go back and you reread it, you'll be like, hey, it's that guy. And now like the scene will make so much more sense on the second time through because you know who that character is. So there's stuff hidden everywhere. We have symbols hidden in there, kind kind of foreshadowing things that are coming. That Angelo Aquino cover has stuff hidden on the cover. It's everywhere. So it's a great immersive experience. And you guys, if you want to, like, those short films that I do are fan interactive. So if you want to participate in those, if you want to, I guarantee that you make it into the short film. So if you send me things, you're guaranteed to be in there. So you'll see yourself either as a dead body or, you know what I mean? Like, we do riots, we do all sorts of stuff. Like issue 2, we did a conspiracy theory video where I went around and I interviewed people like, what do you think broke Depp? And people could say whatever they wanted to. It was really funny. I get run over by a car at the end of that one. Good times.
Good times. Great memories. I would do it again if they asked me.
Yeah, it cracks because we're like, what is it like sitting around the dinner table at Laurie Calcaterra's house where I'm like, hey, honey, tomorrow I need to film some stuff. Do you mind running me over with the car? It's like, okay.
Sure. We had that one disagreement 3 days ago. I'm pretty much over it, but it would probably help a little bit just to lightly tap you at the car once.
He gets to live out every man's fantasy where it's like, God, this woman, run her over. Shove her off the stool.
Hopefully once in a while you get to use him as a prop for something. Like, he gets them most of the time, but you still need to get one in once in a while.
I don't think I've ever had a chance to, like, push him or simulate a murder on my husband.
Damn. Well, see, there's the next voting. Everybody, what part should her husband play in a short film or something? Let her know how he should get destroyed in it.
Yeah, or, go watch them and then tell me what you think would be cool as a short film, because I like hearing what other people want to do. And if we can pull it off, we absolutely will, Yeah. Because I've had people before, too, where it's like, hey, in that conspiracy theory video, it would be really cool if you're talking to somebody and they had no clue that they were undead. So as they turn around to walk away, they got like a knife sticking out their back. And I was like, wow, that's super cool. We can do that. So I gave it to a friend of mine and her dad. They went to Grand Rapids, Michigan, and they filmed it all and sent it to me. And I was like, this is perfect. So if you send me ideas that you want to see into some of these short films, if I can pull it off, I'll get it in there. It's fun.
I love it. And those of you watching, if you're like, what the heck are these short films? The Kickstarter link is below in the description. Click that. You'll see like 1 or 2 of them on the page. And then, of course, it'll link to the social medias where Laurie also shares these other ones out. So you can get the access to all these cool things, be able to bother her as much as you want with all your great ideas. Because clearly she wants them. She wants them.
Yeah. We got a blooper reel. It's funny. So we do fun stuff. I think the best place if you're interested to participate in the shenanigans is join the Facebook group. That's typically where I put all my updates first, and we do things like build a soundtrack for the apocalypse, or like discuss which weapons would work better in Path of the Pale Rider world versus regular zombie movies. We've done one where it's like type your name and apocalypse where into Google and see what pictures show up, and it's super funny. So we have a whole post of that. Yeah, we got all sorts of fun stuff we do, and I'll encourage people to participate in like the riddles and the short films as well. So it's a very easy way to participate and to find out more information. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, I'm on TikTok. You pretty much just have to search Path of the Pale Rider and I pop up everywhere.
I love it. And there's nothing else that has that badass name. So there you go. It will always go back to Laurie.
I know. I looked, right?
You checked. You were like, is this mine?
I did.
I hope it is.
Because originally when I wrote the script, I had the name Dead West was our original title. But then I found out there's like 2 bands and a novel series that are all called Dead West. So I was like, I can't, right? You have to, well, one, I don't want to get cease and desist, or I don't want to get sued for using the same name as someone else's content, especially a novel. If it was like just one band and me, it would be completely different mediums, but there's a novel. So I was like, got to change the name. So it took us a long time, and we settled upon this name because it has like so many meanings behind it. Like, if people aren't aware who the Pale Rider is, it's biblical. There's the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, and the last one rides in on a pale horse, and he who sits upon the horse, his name is Death. So I'm talking about the path of death. Where did death go? I know. But you can also interpret it as like Jude's path. There's so many meanings behind it. And again, there was nobody else with that name. So I was like, that's it. But it's funny because on this cover, see, I disappeared again.
That was a really cool trick. I need to learn that magic.
I was like, Shazam, I'm gone. On this cover, this is the David Rodriguez cover for issue number 2. We have Jude St. Clair with the red disc, so he has no heartbeat and half his face is missing behind bars. But on his fingers, it says Dead West. So it's just a nice throwback to the beginning.
I got to do that little homage still.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, those of you guys, if you haven't caught on already, Path of the Pale Rider is on Kickstarter. I was about to say Netflix. That wouldn't make sense. It is on Kickstarter, everybody.
Please. Say that louder.
Call them Netflix. Call Laurie. But it's on issue 3. It's got 11 days left since we recorded this. The last day to back it is Wednesday, April 19th. Exactly at 7 p.m. Eastern, it shuts down. So obviously we want to hit that 5,500 by then. That way, Laurie, out of the goodness of her heart, does not have to pull out of the pocket to give us all those glorious colors. We gotta get those Funko Pops out the door. Like, they're gonna sell like hotcakes in these last couple days.
Yeah, we got other cool stuff too. I got a secret reward. There is art from Marco DeFillo, original art where he will pencil and ink on I think a 5x7, and we'll mail it directly to you. So it's his work. Just he'll draw any character you want, which is cool. So we have a couple of those. I think there's 2, maybe 3 left of those. There's 2 Big James left. There's 3 super secret rewards. But we got all the comics. Like, the comics are funded. So if you want a book, go grab it. We got, bundles. We got all the covers. We got metal covers. You can pick and choose. And it's cool because the add-on levels, you can customize your own reward. So it's like, I don't really want all of the covers, but I want Marco's cover and I want like William Russell's cover. You can do that. You can just back either one and then go to the add-ons and add on a variant of your choice. So we make it easy. And then you can always add on the choose your own adventure. I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. So
I love it. I'd love to see people post videos or like do like a live show of them going through that. That would be so fun.
I want to see, like, so far, no one has made it to the save point on the first try, except Marco DeFillo. But of course, it's cheating because he knows the story.
Yeah, of course Marco did it.
Well, he didn't read this story. Like, he's read the script, right? So he understands how my warped little brain works. So he was like, no, I'm not falling for it, Laurie. And I was like, oh, come on. Like, open the box. And he was like, I'm not opening the box. And I'm like, okay. So he made it back to the saloon. There I have a checkpoint, like a safe spot, like in a video game. So if you make it to about halfway in the book, then you can keep going forward and you just go back to the save point instead of all the way back to the beginning.
Oh, nice.
But he's the only one. Everybody else has not made it back.
All right. Hashtag catch up to Marco. That is all our new goals for the week. Everybody, we have to catch up to Marco, myself included.
I don't think anybody's run the second half of the book. Like, we never get that far. And then once Marco got back to the saloon, I stopped him. So we haven't done like the second half of the book on a live or anything. So I'd be really interested to see who gets to the end first.
Yeah, I love it. That's quite the challenge. I wonder who's going to take that on because, there's somebody's going to have to be a headliner on their short film if they do that or something. I don't know. We'll have to see. But then you have to tell me which one you choose. So there's 2 choices at the very end and you have to tell me which one. Ooh. Oh, I know exactly what we're going to do. Ooh. So the first person that gets to the end and makes a choice and tells me about it will draw your likeness into the comic. All right, there you go. You guys heard it first. There's your opportunity. Your likeness drawn in comic just because you get to the end, you tell Laurie, and you tell her which one you pick at the end. There you go. You guys heard it here first. So we'll do that twice. Because there's 2 choices. So whoever chooses the first one
You get your likeness. Whoever chooses the second one, you get your likeness. And then
I love it.
That's it.
I love it. The 2 early birds get the worm. Only 2 birds, guys. Only 2 of you. So get to it, everybody. I believe in all of you. Laurie, it's been so great having you on again. I know you kind of basically plugged yourself earlier, but please plug yourself again. Tell us what social medias we can find you on. Anything else you want to share before we get out of here?
Sure. Everybody, I love you, by the way. I love you. Thanks for watching Lauren's show. It's one of my favorites. I love all your polls on Twitter. It's near and dear to my heart. And I love the show, and happy hat trick to us, right?
Yes. I think you might be the first hat trick, honestly, on the show. I'll have to check.
Yeah,
I think
really?
you guys are. Yeah.
I'm going to make myself a sticker.
I'll make you a sticker and post it, Laurie. Don't worry. That's my job.
That's right. All right, so you can find me just about everywhere. Just search Path of the Pale Rider or Laurie Calcaterra. I'm on Facebook. I got a Facebook group. I got a Facebook page. I'm on Instagram at Path of the Pale Rider with the underscore between all the words. Same handle for TikTok. I'm on Twitter, obviously, at Path Pale Rider. I got a website, www.pathofthepalerider.com. Can you see a pattern? It's Path of the Pale Rider. I'm with Charter Comics. They are my publisher here in Texas. They have a bunch of great titles. So if you go to chartercomics.com, you'll find me there. I have a distributor in the UK. It's ASAP Imagination, and they provide digital downloads. So if you're watching from overseas, you can download Path of the Pale Rider right from their website, which is super cool. I can't think of the next con I'm going to be at. We were planning on going to Arlington, but I don't think we're going. It was booked. Marco's going to be
North Carolina, let me know, because that's where I am.
Where?
If you come anywhere in North Carolina, that's where I am. We have Heroes Con coming up in Charlotte, which is all American comic book based. So that's probably my favorite one. That's a good one.
Gotcha. We will be traveling probably more once we get more books. It's kind of hard to go to a con and pay a table fee when you just got I got one book, everybody, look at me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right? You don't make back your table fee, which of course we always strive to do. So I'll probably be going to a lot more local comic book stores and introducing myself coming soon. But yeah, cons are on the horizon. That's definitely something that we would love to do and get our name out there. I'm going to be in Michigan in June doing a book signing. I have family there, so I'll be there for a wedding. And then in addition, I was like, let's sign some books while we're there. So I'll be at Gotham Nights in Livonia, Michigan. So I'll be there in June. But yeah, I have a lot of fun doing this. If you love comics, come support indie. Come support me. We have the best stories. You're not going to get regurgitated Resident Evil, regurgitated, what's the Anne Rice one they just redid? Interview with the Vampire. We don't give us something new. Give us something exciting. That's what indie is. That all these passion projects from people like myself who are too damn stubborn to give up. And we're just going to keep producing things that are fun. Because I think people need that. They need a story. Take them out of their anxiety and their daily stress. Go get lost in Path of the Pale Rider for a little bit before you have to go tackle dinner or your kids or your job. So.
I love it. Go get lost in it. Completely get lost in Path of the Pale Rider. And where in the world isn't Path of the Pale Rider? It's everywhere you turn, guys. It's every website, every social media. You can't escape it. And honestly, as somebody who has backed it myself and loves this series, I don't want to escape this world. Even though it's got this really, kind of deep premise, it's still so fun to read. It's so good. It's still such a great escape. You do such a great job, Laura. You, Marco, and everybody else involved, you guys are so great.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for supporting our work. I think it's been around since the beginning. Yeah.
I mean, since issue 1.
Number 1. So I very much appreciate you and your support and just coming on your show and giving me a platform to meet new people and talk about Path of the Pale Rider. So it's a blast. We always have a good time, right?
Yeah, every single time. And again, I'm 99% sure this is your first hat trick. So congratulations. This is not only your first hat trick, it's the first hat trick ever in the new neighborhood. So right in time for the Women's World Cup this year, which is the only World Cup that matters to me. So
right.
Fantastic.
Let's be honest.
Well, thank you, Laurie, so much for coming on. It's so great to have you back. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to back the Kickstarter below. Check out all the social media. Back whatever you are able to. Again, even the $5 tier, whatever. It's always wonderful. Just back and get. Tweet it out. Put it on Instagram, TikTok, whatever you feel comfortable putting it on. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel here. All these cheesy but super important things that help us grow. They'll help, Path of the Pale Rider with Laurie grow. It's super, super essential. So please do those things. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time in the nerdy neighborhood.